over 70 years, farmers have been pressured to make agriculture and food production more and more industrialised. Through intensive ploughing and heavy use of chemical fertilisers, our soils are being left sterile, with little or no biodiversity. These industrial farming techniques cause massive degradation and compaction of our soil, contributing to flooding, water pollution, and erosion.
We've been losing land area, essentially from erosion, at the rate of about 7 to 10 million hectares per year, which is almost the size of Portugal. You could see from satellite vast amount of topsoil leaving the United Kingdom into the ocean.
All over the world, farmers are developing an alternative system to regenerate soil instead of degrading it. To protect and increase water retention by covering soil with mulch and by growing continuous diverse crops without tilling or ploughing. It's called regenerative agriculture, which includes no-till farming.
We owe our entire existence on this planet to a 6-inch layer of soil and the fact that it rains. We erode those soils so we can't produce food. So if we can find an agricultural system that is more friendly to soils, it's ultimately going to be a benefit for the farmers and for wider society.
It's only because of the UK's temperate climate that our soil has been so resilient. But for how long? It was the Dust Bowl in 1930s America that highlighted the problems caused by disturbing the soil and popularised the no-till movement. Farmers all over the world began experimenting with ways to farm without ploughing, planting the seeds straight into undisturbed soil. Direct drills can replace ploughs by using a cutting disc or knife to sow seeds with very little disturbance to topsoil, so that it maintains its structure. Carlos Crovetto is a pioneering no-tiller in Chile, South America.
I have been in 21 countries teaching no-till to the farmers. No-till must be done all around the world, not only here where we used to have a lot of erosion. Keeping the cover in the top of the soil every year, and all this organic matter that is processed by Mother Nature begin to protect the soil, begin to improve the humus compound of the soil that is very, very important for farmers. And this is the main key that they have as an objective to be a good farmer, that increase soil instead of deplete soil.
Healthy soil needs minimal disturbance, so no ploughing, constant coverage with living roots, diverse species, and crop rotation, ideally including livestock grazing.
Farming is exciting now. Instead of almost drudgery, doing the same thing all the time, there are different views. You see the soil altering, which is fantastic. A lot of Swiss friends, CA, the government gives them assistance for 5 years, and after 7, they're now out-yielding classic agriculture. Now, our target has always been to get back to the same, obviously with less inputs, with less and with better soil.
Here we are on a farm which is in no-till since 1980, so 36 years of no-till. As you can see here, this is my seeder, the no-till machinery, and at the top there is my great-grandfather plough, so it means we don't plough anymore. This is the past, and today it's completely different. You know that you are improving the soil and you are doing something for the future. This is a good soil, there is no compaction. And this is not dirt, it's soil. The main tool is not the tractor, the main tool is the soil. If the soil works, I know that I will be able to grow crops.
The soil has incredible food web. A handful of healthy soil contains more living creatures than there are humans on the planet. And so some of them, I mean, most of them would be microscopic, sort of bacteria and fungi, and then you just get all the things that eat those, and then you get the things that eat those, and then you end up with the really big things which we can actually see, like worms.
Our soil is actually a habitat, and it's got infrastructure, just like a city does. It's got underground tunnels that are superhighways. It's got the mycorrhizal hyphae in there, which are really the fiber optic cables that are communicating with all the plants and networking them all so they're all talking to one another. So the idea being that when you are standing on your soil, you're really standing on the rooftop of this other world, and you as a farmer have the ability to destroy this other world, or you can nurture it and culture it and make it great.
Agriculture is responsible for nearly 20% of the carbon emissions that affect global warming. But with regenerative farming, carbon can be locked up within the soil and remains in the ground as organic matter, feeding the plants and microbes that nurture the soil. Cover crops like beans are also used to fix nitrogen into the soil, reducing the need for chemical fertilizer.
If we get nitrogen use down, for example, which we can if we increase soil quality, we can slash the amount of greenhouse gases that we release. You know, if you've got a decent soil structure, it will hold the nitrogen, it won't leach out, the plants will be able to access it, and it will start to turn over in time.
I think as an agricultural policy, the government would be mad not to suggest people went down this line. And the trouble is we're using less chemicals, less fertiliser, less machinery to do it. And all the chemical companies and the fertiliser companies and the machinery companies are advising the government on where agricultural policy should go.
If you take no-till, the sort of next logical step is how do we use plant species to manage weeds so that we suppress them before they actually get established, and thinking about, rather than growing single species, we're always growing multiple species but using them to do different functions, so suppress weeds or fix nitrogen, and it's all about managing all of those things. And the other key thing is bringing in livestock. If you have a mixed enterprise, something that might not turn out to be a cash crop from a cereal perspective actually is perfectly good as a forage crop for livestock.
Mob grazing allows cattle to live entirely on a diet of grass while fertilising the soil. It allows diverse plant species to grow that are not only better grazing for the animals, but add to the organic matter in the soil. On their natural diet, the cows are healthier and need less intervention. John Cherry was so inspired by what he was seeing on his farm, he and his family started an annual regenerative agriculture conference, the first of its kind in the United Kingdom.
This event is a terrific example. People flock here because they want to do it. The machinery is out there now, and we started, I think there were 2 manufacturers of no-till drills, and there'll be 10 or 15 here demonstrating.
It was great because we had really good speakers. We could share ideas between farmers, and it was very interesting.
I think we've got here a good foundation of ideas and people, and it's truly coming from the ground up.
Globally, 12.5% of the world's arable land has been converted to no-till agriculture. The revolution is underway.